My name is Ashley, and this is An Album a Day, an English language podcast promoting commentary on South Korean pop music. This podcast covers mainstream, indie, and some underground artists within the scene and provides both factual and opinionated K-pop commentary. The biggest benefit to sharing my thoughts this way is that it will hopefully expose you to more great music and exploration of your own. Hey y'all, I work in an industry where I know that reading comprehension and pleasure reading has dropped to 54% in the US alone. So if I wrote something, which I have, but if it gets misunderstood, like something I said in agreement earlier, and someone sent me a DM to be sassy, only for me to correct them and them to just simply go, oh, I misunderstood. Y'all not getting that from me. Y'all not about to mess up over a decade of hard work and try to do something stupid because I have opinions and you don't know how to infer or make a difference. So I, being the responsible person I am, I'm going to share with y'all what I have to say about this project, and we'll get into it right after the drop.
You're tuned into An Album a Day. Show start.
I'm not in my usual recording space, but y'all have gotten far worse shit from me in the past. So, hey y'all. What a time to be a K-pop fan. It's 1 week since BTS's return. Yes, BTS. And then we are a matter of days away from the official full album from T.O.P. and a whole bunch of other good stuff. We are going to get there, but let's address this first. We are talking about BTS Arirang, and this is an extended commentary, which technically it is in writing, but again, I just gave you what I had to say about that. So I want to share my thoughts with you, and I encourage you to go back and listen to my disclaimer. No, let me just read it to you again. An Album a Day is my exploration into the Korean music scene. Anything I write or anything I say for my show will cover mainstream, indie, and some underground artists within the scene and provide both factual and opinionated commentary. The biggest benefit to sharing my thoughts this way is that it will hopefully expose you to more great music and exploration of your own. All discussions of controversies or allegations are based solely on publicly available reporting, and they're presented for informational and contextual purposes rather than as independent claims. So you know I'm about to say some stuff because I'm putting all the disclaimers out here. And again, as I said early, I do not need a fiber of all the sweat equity I have put into my career being tarnished over people not being able to read. So if you can hear the compassion and the honesty in my tone, maybe that'll save me. And many of you found out about me for the first time, and are you just becoming familiar with me as a music journalist or a content creator in K-pop? So hello and welcome. But misrepresentation and misperception, it's important to me to avoid that shit. So if you are new to me, I strongly encourage that you go into the show notes and click Storytime Me. I recorded it almost a year ago, but it gives you some context to who I am. This will not be like previous album reviews I've written or previous album reviews I've struggled through communicating audibly, because there will be hundreds available on this as it is. BTS made everybody come up out the woodwork. My genuine reaction is preserved on my Patreon for members to enjoy anyway, so there's no need to rehash everything. In fact, I will make sure to share the link to five reputable reviews, and there's a multitude of approaches with these reviews. Some are from Korean or Korean Americans, other commentators and whatnot. I tried to pull from areas there in which I feel like they give positivity or respectable critique. So here are the facts. Let's talk facts first. This album marks the official comeback of the entire group after mandatory military service. See, I'm already getting tongue-tied because it's exciting as hell. Like, can you believe it's been like 3.5, almost 4 years? That's crazy. It was released March 2026. Again, facts. This is their 10th studio album, and it features 14 tracks. 13 of them are actual songs with lyrics. One is an instrumental, a very historically enwombed instrumental, so to speak. The other fact, where you might not necessarily think this is a fact, but more so opinion, the K in K-pop does not exclusively mean South Korean artistry and hasn't for years. Pop means mainstream. Mainstream means it is widely recognized, widely accepted, and often shaped by global expectations, both real or perceived. So now that we've gotten that, my goal here isn't to assign intent, but to acknowledge context so you can decide how you engage with the work. It's important to clarify where I'm placing accountability. The presence of certain collaborators and creative choices on this project raises questions about industry decision making. Let me repeat that. The presence of certain collaborators and creative choices on this project raises questions about industry decision making, specifically music labels, management, and the broader production ecosystem, more than my questions about the individual artists themselves. Pop music at this level is built through layered systems, and participation doesn't always equal authorship or endorsement. My goal is to make sure that you are informed so that you can understand information is not equivalence, but are included for transparency around the ecosystem surrounding this release. So, some of the team behind Arirang have been tied to publicly reported controversies, and depending on your politics, your boundaries, or your personal comfort levels, the things you have experienced or don't want to experience, that may make BTS look complacent by association. Additionally, I have to do this shit. If I'm going to be a writer who has actual integrity so that you can continue to trust me, I cannot let my personal biases get in the way of keeping you informed. The following references vary in nature, from allegations to artistic expressions to broader creative decisions. First off, the use of Howard University as a visual reference point has been talked about 11 times. Paired with minimal depiction of Black people in the animation, that's drawn its own criticism from some viewers who expected a more thoughtful or representative inclusion given the institution's cultural significance. Look, we already know BTS themselves have faced criticism out the ass around cultural sensitivity. Name a K-pop group who hasn't. But the reality here is more nuanced than a simple guilty by collaboration narrative, okay? Major artists work within huge, raggedy as hell, multi-layered systems. Decisions are often made far above their pay grade. And where accountability is applied, it's often done unevenly. I'm not here to tell you how to navigate your relationship with pop culture or even these boys. Be an army down to the day you die, or hate on them if you want, if that's what works for you. I'm here to make sure the information is transparent. Diplo is tied to this project, and he has been tied to multiple sexual misconduct related allegations and lawsuits such as revenge porn and battery. JPEG Mafia has had politically charged work, including references to Israel and Palestine and broader critiques of U.S. politics, imperialism, and global conflict. And that's firmly within the realm of artistic and political expression. I'm being clear about that. But for some, that might be uncomfortable. Flume. I like Flume. I have some issues, though. Flume had a viral explicit stunt involving sexual content and drugs at a festival. Tame Impala, and I'm talking about the individual, Kevin Parker, not when the moniker functions as a live band. Tame Impala has acknowledged past drug use within a lifestyle or creative context. People vary wildly in how they separate art from the behavior of the people who make it. And for many, that divide is psychological rather than moral. I cannot act like it did not take me, for some entertainers, time to let go of the comfort of enjoying their artistry. For others, it wasn't difficult at all. The lines are very thick in some areas and thin, but not so brittle that they cannot break in others. Being a conscious fan of K-pop, of anything, now more than ever, y'all, it's difficult for me. I'm tearing up saying this. More often than not, I want to create distance from controversial things. It's a matter of preserving my peace, and I've earned that shit at this point in my life, at this point in my career, and not feeling like I'm adding to the financial stability of those whose actions I don't agree with. And because of this wrestling that I'm doing, that you can audibly hear right now, a group I've enjoyed watching for years is catching strays. My hope is that future albums align them, the individual members, with others who share their same ethos. So with that context in mind, Arirang, this shit is all over the place. Give me a moment to... I just want to be able to enjoy things without the psychological pressure of the nastiness of the world. Like, have mercy. Okay. It's fun. All right. It's sentimental. It's ambitious in its reclamation of early BTS days and intentional in reintroducing South Korea to the masses, because a lot of y'all came along during COVID. Y'all weren't there when BTS was really just, even to Korean consumers, like, oh, okay, it's just another third generation group. Great. Oh, it's BAP Jr. Oh, it's Block B Jr. Y'all weren't there for that. Y'all weren't there for people rolling their eyes in 2013 during debut. And that's okay. Not everybody wants to go back, but as your favorite foreign Korean music historian, it's my job to keep you informed, babies. With so much going on in the world, thank goodness for some fun and low-stress distractions from this damn album. Thank goodness for a group coming back with the weight of the global media on their backs and tossing something our way that sounded nothing like past projects. If anything, it was a family member hiding behind Dark and Wild when they dropped that in 2014. And plenty of y'all have called that out. I've seen it. So hats off to you for the observation. These gentlemen did not want this sprinkled and littered with English. The label put that on them. There's articles popping up and notes from their documentary of how they really was like, do we have to do this shit? But lo and behold, they stepped the fuck up and did it for us, eh? When you're meeting a new family member, you might have some preconceptions, but nothing is confirmed until you've met. Such is the experience with Arirang, okay? As I only knew that it would be the guys, and I hadn't listened to them on purpose since V's solo project in 2023. I wanted that first moment of hearing them together after years to hit like a ton of bricks. And baby, it didn't. Initially, it didn't. The album's two halves are sequenced well enough. I won't lie about that. It's the roller coaster listening experience that made it difficult to put my initial thoughts into words. It's fun. Yes, like I said, and it's sentimental. Yes, like I said, but this project wasn't just for fun and intentionality. It feels like we got together, we happy to be in the studio, let's just knock something out and take the time we need to create while we're on the road during the tour. What this project does well is create moments that speak to various sects of their global fan base. For those who are party or club age, there's something to move to. For older listeners, there's crafty wordplay that reminds you of the group's capabilities. There's even something for those who were going to dislike this shit regardless, simply because it's BTS, and their fans are still going to embrace that, okay? Nothing can be for everyone except the air that we breathe and the finality of life, but they gave it a good try. Speaking of trying, for some listeners, this was a trying experience. Opinions have ranged from exceptionalism to deep disappointment. One thing that some have failed to accept is that BTS needed something that wasn't a heavy lift. I criticized the lyrics on one song specifically, for example, while still acknowledging that everything doesn't have to be overtly deep. Arirang won't be a win for everyone. It'll grow on some and it'll miss others entirely. It's not a good, quote, good or quote, bad album so much as it is a reflective one. It mirrors the preferences, expectations, and thresholds of its listeners. It's tough enough as it is that the label was imposing more emphasis on them and things that they didn't necessarily want to do. The least we can do is let them have this album as is. It's an adjustment from regularly scheduled programming. I'm not ranking this shit. I'm not ranking this shit. Take what I said. Bye, y'all.